Welcome to a time long ago, a land steeped in legend, where ancient prophecies, secret lineages, and mystical forces shape the destiny of a people. Today, we journey back to the dawn of the Arthurian legend, to the very rise of the legendary King Arthur. A king chosen by fate, shrouded in mystery, and forever immortalized as the once and future king. Imagine a kingdom lost to darkness. It's the 5th century, and Britain is a land without a king, torn apart by rival warlords and plagued by endless conflict. With Roman legions gone, the land is left exposed, vulnerable to Saxon invaders and internal power struggles. Chaos reigns as noble families feud over territory, and each man with a sword vies to be the ruler of all. People whisper of hope and seek a true leader who can unite them, a savior who might just be found in a young boy, hidden from the world for his own safety. In this fractured world, there is a man who sees beyond the present turmoil. He is Merlin, a mysterious figure of great wisdom and even greater power. Some call him a wizard, others a prophet, but to all, he is an enigma. Merlin is not just any sorcerer. He is a bridge between the mortal world and the magical forces that shape destiny. For Merlin has foreseen the rise of a king, a once and future king destined to rule over Britain and bring a new age of peace and prosperity. But this king will not come from nobility or wealth. No, Merlin's vision is of a boy born under circumstances as secretive as they are magical. This boy, he knows, will be the one to unite the realm and wield the power of kings. Yet, until he is ready, Merlin ensures that this chosen one remains hidden and protected from those who would seek to harm him. Enter Arthur, a seemingly ordinary boy, raised in a modest household, unaware of his royal heritage. Young Arthur knows nothing of his true identity. He has lived his whole life in obscurity, fostered by Sir Ector, a noble knight loyal to the realm. Here, far from the prying eyes of those hungry for power, Arthur grows up, learning the values of humility, courage, and respect. Arthur's days are spent working, training, and bonding with his foster brother, Kay. But while he may seem an ordinary squire, there is something different about him. An unassuming grace, a quiet strength that sets him apart. Unbeknownst to Arthur, his humble upbringing is all part of Merlin's plan to prepare him for the throne, teaching him the value of hard work, empathy, and justice. It is in his teenage years that fate begins to stir. A great tournament is declared, a competition to select the worthiest knight, one who could rule over all should the kingdom remain without a sovereign. Arthur's foster brother, Kay, dreams of winning fame and glory, and Arthur, loyal as ever, dutifully serves as his squire. But as Arthur searches for a weapon, destiny calls him to a mysterious stone, upon which rests an ancient sword, glinting under the morning sun. Carved into the stone are the words, "Whoso pulleth out this sword of this stone and anvil is the rightful king of all England." Driven by duty, or perhaps a hidden force guiding his hand, Arthur grasps the sword and, with one swift pull, removes it from the stone. The crowd gasps. This is the sword in the stone, an ancient relic prophesied to reveal the one true king. Many have tried to pull it, all have failed. But here stands Arthur, holding the blade as if it were weightless, a symbol of his right to rule, though he is unaware of the magnitude of his actions. Merlin, watching from the shadows, steps forward, a glimmer of satisfaction in his eyes. He knows that the time has come to reveal the truth. And so, in front of lords, knights, and common folk, he declares Arthur as the chosen king, the rightful heir to the throne. But this revelation does not come without its challenges. the noblemen and knights, many of whom sought the throne for themselves, are outraged. How can a mere squire, a boy with no noble blood, be worthy to rule? Yet, despite the protests, Merlin stands firm, insisting that Arthur's claim is divinely ordained, that he is Britain's true king. Arthur is soon crowned, stepping into the role that fate and prophecy had long prepared him for. As he ascends to the throne, he faces immediate challenges, navigating the suspicion and hostility of the nobles who view him as an outsider. But Arthur is undeterred, embodying qualities of justice, humility, and courage, earning the loyalty of those who once doubted him. Arthur's rule begins with a relentless effort to unite Britain. Guided by Merlin's counsel, he works to mend the fractured alliances and bring peace to a war-weary land. With each victory, Arthur proves himself not through displays of force or fear, but through compassion and a desire for a unified realm. Arthur's dreams of a prosperous kingdom take root in Camelot, a shining beacon of hope, justice, and equality. Here, Arthur's vision extends beyond his rule. He establishes a court built on honor and chivalry, a place where knights serve not for personal glory, but for the good of all. Camelot becomes more than a city. It becomes a symbol of what Britain could be under a just and noble king. But Arthur's vision is not one of hierarchy and privilege. To ensure that all his knights are seen as equals, he creates the famed Round Table, a symbol of unity where every voice, from king to knight, carries the same weight. This act cements Arthur's legacy as a leader who rules with fairness and humility, one who sees his knights not as subjects, but as equals. And so, Arthur's journey from humble beginnings to the throne of Britain marks the rise of a legend. Guided by the wise Merlin, armed with the sacred sword in the stone, and crowned in the hearts of the people, Arthur brings hope to a land that has longed for peace. But his story is far from over, for the challenges he will face next will test not only his strength but the very foundations of Camelot. Arthur's rise to the throne has brought unity to Britain, but peace is not easily won. Rival lords still threaten his fledgling kingdom, and Arthur knows that he must fight to secure the safety of his people. The sword in the stone, a blade of destiny, has seen him through many battles, symbolizing his right to rule and his strength as king. Yet, on this day, fate has other plans for Arthur. The battlefield is unforgiving. Amidst clashing steel and cries of warriors, Arthur wields his sword with courage, cutting through enemies and rallying his knights. But in the chaos, a shadow looms over him. An opposing knight, fierce and relentless, strikes at Arthur with unbridled fury. In a fateful moment, Arthur's trusted sword in the stone snaps, its blade shattering under the force of the blow. Arthur stands motionless, staring at the fragments of the sword that marked his destiny. In that instant, he feels the weight of the broken blade as if the hopes of Britain have shattered along with it. Without his sword, Arthur feels vulnerable, uncertain, and perhaps for the first time, afraid. Has fate abandoned him? Is he truly meant to be king? Seeking solace, Arthur wanders alone to the edge of a hidden lake, surrounded by a veil of mist. The lake is quiet, its waters as still as glass, reflecting the grief and doubt that weigh upon Arthur's heart. But there, in the stillness, he senses a presence, a mysterious, otherworldly energy calling to him from the depths of the lake. Slowly, a figure emerges from the water. She is the Lady of the Lake, an ethereal being of grace and mystery. Her appearance is otherworldly, her robes flowing like liquid silver, her eyes as deep and ancient as the lake itself. She is a guardian of the realm, a keeper of secrets, and a conduit between the mortal world and realms unseen. In her hands, she holds a sword unlike any other, a blade that gleams with a light that seems to pierce through the mist. Its name is Excalibur, a sword forged in the depths of magic and mystery, a weapon destined only for the true king. In a voice as calm as the still lake, she addresses Arthur. "Arthur, King of Britain, your path is far from over. The sword in the stone has served you well, but your journey requires a strength greater than mortal steel. Take Excalibur, a blade bound to your fate and forged by powers beyond this world. With it, you shall fulfill your destiny as the King Britain deserves." As Arthur reaches for Excalibur, he feels a surge of power unlike anything he has ever known. It is as if the sword itself recognizes him, binding its fate to his own. Excalibur is no ordinary weapon. It is a symbol of authority, blessed by forces beyond mortal understanding. Where the sword in the stone marked Arthur's right to rule, Excalibur symbolizes his divine purpose, a reminder that his destiny is greater than any man, greater than any kingdom. Excalibur is a blade of prophecy and magic, a sword that will protect Arthur as long as he remains just, a king who rules not for himself but for his people. The Lady of the Lake bestows Excalibur not as a mere weapon, but as a covenant, a promise that, so long as Arthur wields it with honor, his rule shall be blessed. Merlin, ever the silent watcher of destiny, knows the weight of Excalibur's gift. He understands that it is both a blessing and a responsibility, a sword that will demand sacrifice as much as it offers strength. For Excalibur is not a symbol of power alone. It is a reminder that true kingship requires humility, wisdom, and an unwavering sense of justice. Returning to Camelot, Arthur rides with a renewed spirit, Excalibur gleaming at his side. His people gather to see their king, who has returned not only victorious, but transformed. The knights, loyal and unwavering, sense that this is a new chapter for Arthur and for Camelot, a chapter where the ideals of chivalry, honor, and unity will guide their path. Excalibur is not merely a sword, it is a beacon, a reminder of the duty we hold to this realm. We are not rulers, we are servants of justice, protectors of those who cannot protect themselves. Together with this blade, we shall build a kingdom of hope and courage, a kingdom worthy of Britain's legacy. And so, Excalibur becomes a symbol not only of Arthur's right to rule but of the principles by which he governs. With each victory and act of justice, Arthur's bond with Excalibur grows stronger, the sword a silent witness to his trials and triumphs. Excalibur serves as a guide, a constant reminder that his strength must be wielded with compassion, that his power is a gift to be used in service of his people. The Lady of the Lake, her task fulfilled, fades back into the mist, leaving only the faintest ripple upon the lake's surface. Her presence, though fleeting, has altered Arthur's path forever. Excalibur will guard him as long as he remains true to his purpose, a beacon of hope in dark times and a shield against the forces that would threaten Camelot. Arthur now holds the most powerful weapon in the realm, yet the true power of Excalibur lies not in its edge, but in the heart of the one who wields it. In Arthur's hands, Excalibur is more than steel. It is an idea, a hope, a promise. For as long as he upholds the ideals it represents, his kingdom shall thrive. But should he falter, Excalibur, too, will lose its light. And so, Arthur's journey continues, armed with a blade that reflects his spirit and his destiny. But his story is far from over. Darker challenges await, and the ideals that Excalibur embodies will be tested in ways even Merlin cannot foresee. Will Arthur remain the king Excalibur believes him to be, or will the weight of destiny prove too heavy to bear? Camelot, a kingdom unlike any other, built upon Arthur's dream of a land ruled by justice and honor. Here, he envisions a realm where every man and woman, rich or poor, strong or weak, can live in peace and dignity. Camelot is more than a kingdom. It's a symbol of hope, a beacon that shines across the land, inspiring all who yearn for a better world. But for Arthur, the heart of this kingdom lies not in its walls or its wealth. It lies in the people who uphold its ideals, especially those who have pledged their lives in service to the realm. These are his knights, men of valor and integrity, bound by a code that transcends loyalty to any one man. They are united by a higher purpose, the pursuit of justice, the protection of the innocent, and the commitment to honor. Arthur knows that to bring his vision to life, he must lead by example. And so, in the spirit of unity, he creates a place where his knights will stand as equals, a place where no man holds more power than another. He orders the construction of the legendary Round Table, a table where every knight's voice is heard, and every knight is valued. The Round Table becomes a symbol of equality, a sacred space where valor, not birth, earns you a seat. Here, Arthur's knights pledge to protect the realm and each other, to uphold justice, and to serve not themselves, but the people of Camelot. It is an ideal that transforms Camelot into a beacon, a place where people believe in the possibility of a fair and just world. Among these knights, some are destined for legend themselves. Each brings unique strengths, stories, and virtues, forging their own paths within Arthur's vision. Let us meet a few of the most renowned knights who gather around the Round Table, men whose names will be remembered for centuries to come. First, we meet Sir Lancelot, often called the bravest of Arthur's knights. Born of noble blood, Lancelot hails from a distant land, his skill with the sword unmatched, his courage unquestioned. But Lancelot's journey to Camelot is not without struggles, for he carries a love as powerful as it is forbidden, a love for Arthur's queen, Guinevere. This love will one day test the bonds of loyalty and honor, leaving an indelible mark on Camelot. Lancelot pledges his life to Arthur, vowing to protect the king and the realm with all he has. His valor inspires those around him, and he soon becomes the most trusted knight of the king, though his heart bears a burden only he understands. Next, we meet Sir Gawain, a knight of unwavering loyalty and compassion, and Arthur's own nephew. Known for his kindness and his steadfast sense of duty, Gawain embodies the heart of Camelot. Yet, while he is gentle with those in need, he is also fierce on the battlefield, feared by those who would threaten the kingdom. Gawain's tale is filled with loyalty to his king and comrades, but his journey is not without its tests. In his commitment to Camelot's ideals, he finds himself faced with decisions that challenge his own code of honor. Nevertheless, Gawain remains a knight who stands as a pillar of strength and loyalty. Then, there is Sir Percival, a young man of humble origins whose heart burns with purity and faith. Unlike many of his fellow knights, Percival was not born into nobility. He grew up in the quiet woods, raised by his mother, with little knowledge of the outside world. Yet, his innocence and bravery catch Arthur's eye, and he is soon welcomed into the Brotherhood of the Round Table. Percival's story is one of discovery. It is he who will embark on the sacred quest for the Holy Grail, a journey that will test his spirit, his courage, and his faith in ways he never imagined. Through his trials, Percival will come to symbolize the purity and humility that Camelot holds dear. These are but a few of the knights whose stories fill the halls of Camelot. Sir Bors, the stalwart warrior known for his unwavering loyalty. Sir Tristan, a noble knight whose tragic love story is as famous as his deeds on the battlefield. Sir Galahad, the pure and pious knight who will one day be destined for greatness. Together, these knights represent the very spirit of Camelot. Each has sworn the knight's code, to be true to one another, to protect the innocent, to seek justice, and to uphold the honor of the realm. With the Round Table as their bond, they face every challenge as one, bound by the ideals that Arthur has instilled in them. Knights of the Round Table, you are more than warriors. You are protectors of our realm, defenders of the helpless, champions of honor. Here in Camelot, we shall not seek power or riches, but justice and unity. Remember always, we are not only knights, but servants of the people and guardians of this land. With these words, Arthur binds his knights not only by duty, but by an oath of honor. They are more than comrades. They are brothers, bound by a cause greater than themselves. The Round Table is no mere symbol. It is a testament to Arthur's vision of a kingdom where every voice is valued, and every man stands as an equal. Under Arthur's rule, Camelot prospers, and the Round Table becomes a legend in its own time. Stories of these brave knights spread across Britain and beyond, tales of courage, honor, and sacrifice inspiring all who hear them. Camelot becomes a place where ideals of chivalry and justice are not merely words, but a way of life. Though these knights are legends, they are also men, bound by friendship and loyalty. Around the Round Table, they share tales of adventure, moments of laughter, and bonds that only such a brotherhood can know. For in Camelot, the line between king and knight, noble and commoner, fades, replaced by a shared purpose, to uphold a kingdom worthy of its ideals. Thus, Camelot and the Round Table stand as symbols of a golden age, a dream of a realm built on justice and equality. But every golden age must face its trials, and darker shadows loom on the horizon. As we journey forward, Arthur and his knights will face challenges that will test the very foundations of Camelot. Arthur, the king of Camelot, has finally found his queen. Guinevere, known for her beauty and grace, is a woman of noble spirit, admired and revered by all who lay eyes upon her. From the moment Arthur meets her, he is captivated. Their union, celebrated across the kingdom, is seen as the dawn of a golden age for Camelot, a perfect alliance that embodies Arthur's dream of a just and peaceful realm. As the new queen of Camelot, Guinevere's presence adds a rare beauty and elegance to Arthur's court. She quickly wins the hearts of the people, and with Arthur at her side, Camelot flourishes. But as with all golden dreams, there lies beneath the surface an untold story, one that will haunt the kingdom for years to come. Enter Sir Lancelot, Arthur's most trusted knight and friend. Known for his bravery and strength, Lancelot is the embodiment of the chivalric ideals of Camelot. A skilled warrior and a man of unshakable loyalty, he has dedicated his life to Arthur and the dream they both serve. But even the greatest knight is not immune to the challenges of the heart. From the moment they meet, an unspoken connection exists between Lancelot and Guinevere. Neither understands it, yet both feel it, a bond that transcends mere admiration or friendship. Lancelot, devoted as he is to Arthur, tries to bury this growing affection, knowing that his loyalty to the king must come before all else. But the heart, as they say, does not always obey the mind. Try as he might, Lancelot cannot escape his feelings for Guinevere. It becomes a torment he carries silently, an invisible weight on his heart. Every glance, every shared moment between him and the queen, feels like a test of his loyalty, a test he fears he may not pass. For Guinevere, life as a queen is not without its own trials. Though she loves and respects Arthur deeply, her marriage is one bound by duty and honor. And in Lancelot, she finds a kindred spirit, someone who understands her unspoken longings, her desire for freedom, for adventure, for passion. In their friendship, a dangerous intimacy begins to grow. Over time, what begins as friendship blossoms into something deeper, more dangerous. Both are aware of the line they are crossing, of the betrayal this love represents. Yet, as they speak in hushed whispers and stolen moments, their love becomes an unstoppable force, a fire that neither duty nor reason can extinguish. As the connection between Lancelot and Guinevere grows, so too do the whispers. In Camelot, nothing remains hidden for long, and soon enough, suspicions arise. Some knights notice the lingering looks, the closeness, and the unusual devotion Lancelot shows to the queen. Rumors begin to spread, casting a shadow over Camelot's golden age. Among the knights, some view Lancelot's attention to Guinevere with doubt and resentment. One such knight, Sir Agravain, harbors a deep suspicion of Lancelot. He sees the affection between Lancelot and Guinevere, sensing the forbidden bond that threatens to tear Camelot apart. For Agravain, loyalty to Arthur means revealing the truth, regardless of the consequences. For Lancelot, the weight of his love for Guinevere becomes unbearable. Torn between his loyalty to Arthur and his feelings for Guinevere, he faces an impossible choice. He knows that his love for the queen could ruin the very dream he has sworn to protect. Yet to abandon his love for her feels like a betrayal of his own heart. Guinevere, too, is tormented. She understands the danger their love poses, not only to Camelot but to Arthur himself, who trusts them both implicitly. In her heart, she knows that this love will lead to ruin. Yet, the passion she feels for Lancelot is as powerful as it is tragic, an undeniable force that draws her ever closer to him. Meanwhile, Arthur remains unaware of the storm brewing within his own court. He trusts Lancelot and Guinevere completely, seeing them as his greatest allies, his truest friends. This trust makes their secret even more painful, as both know they are betraying the very man they respect most. Their love becomes a tragedy not only for them but for the king, who remains oblivious to their betrayal. Their love affair, though hidden, begins to unravel the unity of Camelot. Knights grow wary, alliances shift, and tensions rise as those loyal to Arthur fear what this betrayal might mean for the future of the kingdom. Camelot's golden age is threatened not by war or conquest, but by a forbidden love that none can control. Lancelot and Guinevere's love is like a shadow over Camelot, unseen yet ever present. And as their hearts draw closer, the kingdom they both cherish is pushed ever nearer to the brink of ruin. Thus, the seeds of discord are sown in Camelot. What began as a love story now risks tearing apart the dream of a unified realm. The tale of Lancelot and Guinevere is one of passion and loyalty, but also of betrayal and sorrow, a forbidden love that forever alters the fate of King Arthur's court. It begins with a vision. One evening, as the knights gather in Camelot, a sudden brilliance fills the great hall, a glow that seems almost divine. In the center of the hall, they see a vision of the Holy Grail, the legendary chalice said to contain sacred powers beyond mortal understanding. This vision is no mere apparition. It is a calling, a summons for those with hearts pure and steadfast to seek the Grail. And so, the divine mission is set. Each knight sees this quest as a chance to achieve the highest honor, to become a symbol of purity and grace. But little do they know that this journey will test not only their courage but their very souls. For Lancelot, this quest presents an opportunity to find redemption, to cleanse himself of the guilt that has haunted him since his forbidden love with Queen Guinevere. He seeks the Grail not only to prove his courage but to heal his wounded spirit. Yet, in his heart, he fears that his past sins may render him unworthy. Percival, one of Arthur's youngest knights, embarks on the quest with a heart full of innocence and faith. To him, the Grail is a symbol of all that is good and holy, and he believes that by seeking it, he can bring honor to his family and his king. He does not yet know of the trials he will face or the inner strength he will need to call upon. But of all the knights, none is more destined for this quest than Sir Galahad, the purest of them all. Son of Sir Lancelot, Galahad has known no sin, no earthly desire to cloud his vision. He is as close to perfection as a mortal can be, and it is said that only he is truly worthy of the Grail. To him, this quest is a calling, one he approaches with humility and unwavering faith. And so, the knights scatter across distant lands, each facing perils and temptations that test their faith and fortitude. They travel through treacherous mountains, dark forests, and desolate wastelands, guided only by their hope and the faint promise of the Grail. The path to the Grail is fraught with danger. Each knight faces trials uniquely tailored to test their deepest vulnerabilities. Sir Bors, known for his kindness, is faced with a difficult choice. He stumbles upon a village ravaged by famine, where people beg him for aid. Torn between his duty to the Grail and his compassion for the suffering, Bors ultimately chooses to stay and help, sacrificing his chance at glory for the sake of others. Bors may not find the Grail, but he gains something equally valuable: the knowledge that true honor lies in service to others. Lancelot's journey is no less harrowing. Haunted by his guilt over Guinevere, he encounters phantoms and visions of his past failures. The forest seems to echo his own self-doubt, and he struggles against despair, wondering if he is beyond redemption. Lancelot's journey does not end in triumph. Though he seeks the Grail with all his heart, he finds only the strength to accept his flaws and forgive himself, a painful but necessary part of his path. For Percival, the journey brings him to the brink of death. Stranded in a desolate wasteland, he nearly gives up hope. Yet, as he lies on the verge of collapse, a vision appears before him. A vision of the Grail, shimmering like a mirage. It fills him with renewed strength, and he realizes that faith alone will guide him through his darkest moments. Percival learns that the Grail represents not power or glory, but the strength to endure even in the face of despair. At last, Galahad reaches the end of his journey. Guided by a heavenly light, he finds himself in a sacred grove, where the Holy Grail awaits him. As he approaches, he feels a divine presence, a sense of peace unlike any he has ever known. In this moment, he understands that he has been chosen not for his strength or his valor, but for his purity of heart. Having attained the Grail, Galahad transcends the mortal world, his spirit lifted to a higher realm. In his purity, he achieves a peace that only the worthy may find, leaving behind a legacy of hope and redemption for all of Camelot. With Galahad's ascension, the quest for the Grail comes to an end. Though not all knights return to Camelot, their journey brings wisdom and humility to those who remain. The Grail's presence blesses the kingdom, renewing its hope for a future of unity and peace. The peace that Arthur fought so hard to achieve is now under threat. In the shadows lurks betrayal, the kind that strikes from within. Arthur's illegitimate son, Mordred, has turned against his father, driven by ambition and resentment. With dark intent, he rallies discontented knights and seeks to seize the throne for himself. Word of Mordred's treachery reaches Arthur, sending a chill through the heart of Camelot. Knowing that his son has betrayed him cuts deeper than any sword. He realizes that this battle is not just for the throne. It's for the soul of Camelot itself. Thus, the stage is set for the Battle of Camlann, a confrontation that will echo through the ages. Knights on both sides gather, driven by loyalty, ambition, and the haunting specter of betrayal. The air is thick with tension as the sun rises over the field, casting an ominous light on the impending conflict. In the heat of battle, father and son meet at last. Mordred, fueled by rage and ambition, stands before his father with fire in his eyes. Steel clashes against steel as Arthur and Mordred battle fiercely, each blow resonating with the weight of their shared blood. This is not merely a fight for the throne. It is a fight for the very soul of Camelot. Every strike echoes the pain of betrayal and the heavy burden of leadership. The tide of battle shifts, and the forces of Camelot suffer devastating losses. The cost of this betrayal weighs heavily on Arthur's heart. With each strike, he fights not only against Mordred but also against the heartache of a son who chose darkness over light. With a swift strike, Mordred brings Arthur to his knees, the king's strength finally faltering. But before Mordred can claim victory, fate intervenes. A loyal knight, Sir Bedivere, steps in, confronting Mordred and striking him down in a final act of loyalty. And so, Arthur is taken to Avalon, a place of magic and healing. Though the battle has claimed his life, the legend of King Arthur does not end here. Avalon holds the promise of renewal, and the hope of his return shines bright in the hearts of his loyal knights. With Arthur's passing, Camelot faces a dark future. The ideals of honor, chivalry, and unity that he instilled begin to fray. Yet in their mourning, the remaining knights vow to uphold his legacy, to carry forth the ideals he fought for. The Battle of Camlann stands as a somber reminder of the fragility of peace and the price of betrayal. Though Arthur has departed, his spirit lives on in the legends and tales that will be told for generations to come. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey through the fall of Camelot and King Arthur's final battle. As we honor the legacy of this legendary king, let us remember that even in darkness, there is always a glimmer of hope. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more legendary tales from history and myth.